Good morning, everybody. This is a roaming prepper, Pete here, and I hope you're all having a nice Saturday. Right now, a lot of us seem to be freezing our butts. Hey, how's it going, Klingon? I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, everyone's. I didn't realize everyone's been moving around. I guess everyone's schedules are screwed up because I think Off the Wall went on earlier, and I didn't expect Off the Wall to go on. And then Heroic went on, but then he got kicked off his. He was doing like a live while he was doing his 3 mile little walk, and he had his phone, and his phone ate shit. I don't know what happened, and all of a sudden it said video and chat are disconnected. So I mean, the aliens may have gotten Mike. I don't know. I'm glad to see he's out and about. He and I, hey, in between, hey, Nikki, how are you? He and I keep in touch on text, and there are a few folks I'll text back and forth with, and he was not a happy camper about 3 days ago. So hey, Dinan, good morning. We have a tsunami. Yeah, I just saw that from the Tonga. What was Topanga? That was that stupid teenage show, wasn't it? That little girl with the poofy hair. Topanga. That's bad. Yeah, I just saw that. Somebody on Instagram actually tagged me in it, which I thought was kind of insane. I'm trying to find it now. Nope, I cannot find it. But yeah, let's look up that. So what's going on over there? Was it where's the Tonga volcano? Good morning, Monique, Metal, D. How's everyone doing this morning? And this is way earlier than my normal Saturday, but like I have a dog at the groomers. I have a delivery we're expecting. Sassy's getting her hair poofy, and I'm like, I'm cool. And plus, there's a hunting expo out here, the West Texas Hunting Exposition. So I'll be going to that this afternoon. I'll try and, if they let us do a live in there, I'll try to do one. I tried to do spam risk. I wanted to do a live at the last gun show, and the guy was like, "No, we don't like you doing that." Except for the guy trying to sell Trump hats. He said you can go live here, but then it was so loud, like I recorded and I couldn't hear anything. So everyone's doing good so far. I mean, howdy. Is that the little Vulcan hand? I can't tell. Hashtag lost my glasses again. Okay, let's see what we find about that. That's super interesting. There we go. Let me see if I can. So I only have one screen, so I'm going to try and share a window instead, or a tab. How do we do this? A Chrome tab. Okay, so I think that's the one. So I'm not sure what you guys are seeing. There it is. Poof, it works. Advertisements. Oh, so exciting. All right, let's see. What the heck happened? It was just there. Well, that sucks. Tsunami. There we go. That's what I was looking for. U.S. West Coast and Alaska. Holy cow. Is that the... Hold on, this thing is not working good. Why do I keep getting Kamala Harris? Who wants to listen to her? Hold on. Having a malfunction here, guys. Yeah, Arkansas was asked not to film at a gun show. Yeah, and Metal, to be fair, the way things are now, I mean, it may not even be like any kind of agency. It might just be just a jerk. There we go. Can you guys see that? I'm trying, so normally I have multiple screens. So I have like my work screen, my shared screen, and then the screen I'm talking to you guys on, and I have the chat, but I only have one screen on my laptop right now. and it's kind of confusing the crap out of me. So is that the volcano? That thing right? That? Because that's insane. Let's see if I can, oh, there we go, that helps. Holy crap, what is that off of? Let's see. Nearly all coastal areas, California, Oregon, Southeast Alaska, South Alaska. The Alaskan, why don't they just say Alaska and the Aleutian Islands? British Columbia also under advisory. Himawari 8, a Japanese weather satellite. But Tonga. So this is Japan here. Is that Okinawa? I guess that's the Solomons. I don't know how that works. That's crazy though. Hey Militant, what's going on? Oh man, yeah. Unfortunately, it's yeah. I'm gonna see if they'll let me film at the hunting expo. So the last one I went to, it wasn't out here. It was in Houston. A guy, hey Hutch, what's going on? And Militant. And somebody had a javelina, stuffed javelina, an actual one that had been mounted on a mechanized rolling cart, and it was under their display table. So that, you know, they had all the vendors, and when kids came up, he had a remote control, and he would make the pig move forward into the crowd, and he had a recording of seriously. What? There's no pig here. All right, y'all want to see this? Hold on. So that is, she came to defend me from the pig. Basically, any sound she hears that she doesn't like, she barks and charges at me to then ask me what's going on so we can kill whatever it is that offended her. So, you know, dog logic. Hey, Joe, did Joe sneak in here on me? There he goes. So, yeah, that would be Peppermint. So when you guys hear that deep bark in the background when I'm doing a live, that's usually her. And usually that happens at 3 or 4 when UPS comes by, because UPS is the enemy of all dogs apparently, and they just go, I think they do that on purpose just to piss dogs off. Hey buddy. Yeah, well, it's cold up there if I recall correctly, so yeah, definitely dry yourself right. You don't need pneumonia to add to the fun of 2022. So guys, what do you all think of the Ukrainian hack? A few of us reported it yesterday. Another prepper, I think it was Southwest Prepper Group, that's what he goes by, said that the several school districts in New Mexico got hacked and they got dropped offline, including the Albuquerque ISD, or what would be the Albuquerque ISD. Joe's naked. Yeah, see, Joe, you just started a whole thing now. That's bad juju. That's the kind of stuff. So we've got really bad weather right across most of the northern part of the U.S. The Midwest got hit pretty bad, but I'm hearing the East Coast is getting hammered right now, but further north. So ooh, I don't know about dog pig bacon. Ugh. Don't look at them. Oh. Avert your eye. My eyes. Pig dog. See, and then Hutch starts doing this, and then the next thing you know, we have the the Hanta-Hutch virus, that it's the pig dog variant, and it gives people the runs, right? So he might inadvertently create a new contagion. I got a dusting of snow, supposed to get 3 inches in a few hours rain now. See, that sucks, Hutch, because you get that rain, and then it freezes, and then you get snow on top of it, and it covers the black ice. And then stupid people who weren't paying attention, they haul ass, and then they crash. But Hutch wants to name a disease after himself, the Hutch hantavirus. No, I got to come up with something better now. The rabid swine, the bark swine flu. See, snowing and windy. Well, that's better than tornadoes, which is usually what Oklahoma gets. So yeah, I'll take that. It's Porky the dog. That's so bad. So let's see what is going on in the universe. By the way, any of you hunters out there, I need a good 4 to 8 mag scope for a short stroke piston rifle. So anyone has a thought on that, throw it in the chat. I'm curious to hear what you guys got. Let's see what the weather is looking like in the Midwest. Leaving to go to city in a few, 60 miles one way. Jeez, that's like going across Houston. Like if you lived on the north side of Houston. Oh no, that's funny. I think it's awesome. I'd rather talk about the dog pig virus than the depressing stuff. Oh, primary arms 1x8 FFP on PVO. Okay. Is that a classic scope or is it like more an ACOG style? I haven't decided what I'm putting on the LROC I got for Christmas, so. Yeah, all the Texans know that. Houston's the only city I've ever lived in that I could leave the northwest part of Houston. I used to live near Tomball, which was just outside the city limits. And I'd say, okay, I'm going to go to the south side of Houston. And I could be going 75 the whole time. And an hour and a half later, I arrived. Yeah, it's oh, it's a 5.56. So what it is an LWRC, which I'll do a video on eventually. I got to get an optic for it. But it's a long spiralized barrel, a short stroke piston. So it's almost like an HK 416, if you're familiar with that platform. No, I did not. I'm assuming our sub hunters, or are those the Rusky sub hunters? They have too many advertisements and shit. Let's see, sub hunter. So that's interesting you bring that up. Because, let me see, hold on. Because aside from Virginia Beach, which is a huge naval installation, which we all know about, a lot of our submarines are built out of Scranton, Connecticut. And I remember because my dad and I would go camping out in Connecticut, and we'd drive past the sub base, and you could every now and then see like one of the subs just kind of hanging out. Okay. I will look for that. I'm hoping they have optics at a hunting convention. So I have Nikons on my Hog bolt action, and I love that one. And you're the third person to recommend the Vortex as a good go-to. OPVO. Okay. And Joe Second's the OVPO, so I'll definitely look for one of those. See, I have family members, and I can't say certain things, but I have family members who are working where they would have to deal with certain things, and it's been very sketchy. Like nobody's getting the whole answer. So I don't know if you guys saw my short yesterday, but the West Coast did an all stop for all flights and then kicked them, said, okay, cancel that, get the flights going again. Then they said, no, shut the flights down, no departures, land everything. Yeah, Trigi was another one that came up a few times. Okay, those are good recommendations, guys. Thanks. I was thinking of a few of them. I hadn't thought of the LPVO, and I just wanted to be sure I was not sending myself down the wrong track. I had a few guys locally recommend the Vortex too. Hold on. Hey, we don't eat shoes. Stupid girl. I don't know. She has her snout in my boot. I don't know what she's looking for, but usually what follows is she eats my shoelaces and then she poops them out. And I'm not a fan of that. So we'll have no shoelace poop. But anyway, FAA issued an all stop to departures on the West Coast in its entirety. Then 5 minutes later said, disregard, not an issue, our bad. Then 5 minutes later issued all stop departures again, apologies, not a joke, not a drill, stand by for information. And then 10 minutes after that said departures authorized. And it happened right around the time supposedly NOCO was shooting rockets again, their symbolic rocket shooting. What concerns me is why, I could see Hawaii, right? Hawaii's pretty close compared to, say, Cali. Why the West Coast? Why were they on a standby? Because North Korea is allegedly firing a short-range ballistic missile. There was one fringe news that I can't find the article now that was saying they were actually trying to test their own hypersonic, courtesy of their friends in the PRC that gave them a design. I don't know if that's true. I can't confirm it. So I've been trying to look for it. I'm just speculating at this point. But yeah, I'm looking at this other article. Oh no, that's from a year ago. That is useless. Let me see if I can get that FAA. La 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 la. What the hell is that? Okay, here it is. It's Politico. Let me see if I can copy the link and give it to you guys. Bear with me just a second because I'm having trouble. Hey, Northern Girl, how you doing today? By the way, that video of the food hall was awesome. That was super impressive that you were able to get that much and then able to share. If you haven't seen it, go check out NGH's video. I think it was 2 days ago. I'm a little bit behind right now. Actually, Hutch, my son just came from the DMZ, and it's not cool, is what he said. And he's gonna tell me more when he and I are by ourselves. But yeah, you're absolutely right. That's 8 million people in that city, and it's literally 50 miles. They could hit it with artillery. They wouldn't even need a rocket. But yeah, and that's not counting the people in the countryside, the other cities. Did that link post? Okay, yeah. So FAA briefly halted West Coast flights amid a North Korean missile scare. Exchanges between pilots and air traffic controllers that cropped up on social media late Monday suggested landings were off limits in portions of California and Oregon. A North Korean missile launch prompted the FAA to ground flights for a short time at some West Coast airports Monday out of an abundance of caution. A temporary ground stop in order that curtails landings at certain airports, most often used during bad weather, prompted a brief mystery about what the threat was for shuttered landings. They keep saying it's an abundance of caution. So Pete Buttigieg, Secretary of Transportation said, will err on the side of caution to make sure that the airspace is safe at all times. NORAD, which is responsible for monitoring the airspace over the US and Canada, said it did not issue a warning to the FAA to order the ground stop. However, a US official with knowledge of the situation who spoke anonymously to discuss internal procedures told Politico Tuesday that government officials from multiple agencies and commands participate in threat assessment. So, that's true. Okay, Joe has closed, so we can all be at rest. And that is, thank you, Hutch. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's yeah, no. I knew what you meant, Militant. They've got a massive artillery, which is basically an old. That's what they did in the Korean War, right? They didn't win on technology against the NATO troops at the time. Even back in the 50s, they just flooded the battlefield with artillery and aircraft and tanks and soldiers, and basically overran positions. Ultimately, in an open battlefield, that proved to be a bad philosophy, because in an open battlefield, numbers get leveled off by accuracy. And the Americans, if I recall correctly, and Joe, Militant, Hutch, anyone who's familiar, chime in. I know my dad was a BAR gunner, so we were still using the U.S. troops anyway. We're still using weapons from World War II. So the M1 Garand, the BAR, Thompsons, stuff like that. But those are accurate way out, 800, 1,000 yards from what my old man said. The good sharpshooters could hit people at 1,000 yards. North Korea had the old, Nagant Chinese knockoffs and the newly minted AK-47s, but at 400, 500 yards, that wasn't very accurate. And in the open plains, they got chewed up. But on the flip side, in Vietnam, where all the fights were very close, the AKs actually were quite advantageous because you had that big fat bullet and it was a very easy gun and reliable. So, oh, absolutely. So Hutch, true story, I found a BAR at a gun store in Houston, and that was my dad's weapon. He was not a big guy. Hey, Kat. Glad you made it. She's had some good posts in New York because they have all sorts of weirdness up there. So definitely please check her out. Content creators, if you want to shout out your channels, feel free to do so. Thank you, NGH. I appreciate it, Jen. Yeah, 30-06. And, Joe, it really wasn't meant for that. It was meant for the European theater, which is why it did so well in the hills and the open plateaus of the Korean Peninsula. But then, in the jungles during World War II, the M1 carbine and the Thompson made more sense. They were shorter. All the engagements were a lot closer. But yeah, as Militant points out, if you hit someone with that, typically they don't get up for a while, if at all. Oh, sorry, too many. I clicked the wrong thing and something went whoosh and just went by. Thank you, Klingon. And yeah, and that's actually where I catch Kat a lot, is on the on Instagram. And it's funny because we see each other on YouTube, like we are now, and then I'll see some will drop a lot on Instagram, but a little bit less on YouTube. There's a couple on TikTok, including myself, that have a bunch out there, and then they kind of just propagate the other way. So it's interesting seeing the different demographics on the different social media platforms. I've got a lot of young followers on TikTok, but I've got a lot of South American followers on Instagram, which kind of was surprising me. I have a following apparently in Buenos Aires, which I didn't know about until someone told me. So, yeah. There you go. Hey D, had you considered getting a heavy bag or that stupid dummy that you fill with sand at the bottom for your garage? Uh, I did Kempo and Judo for like 20 years when I was younger and had good knees and hair. Well, hair on my head, not on my face. And yeah, Militant Roots doesn't have any content. Start a millet. Well, I do not twerk with a cat at all. That would be awful. The cat would freak out. I'd get clawed. It would just end badly for everyone. But that training dummy might be a good way to kind of keep your routine during the week between the kickboxing classes. Just make sure you warm up and don't hurt yourself. Oh, you've got them on your porch. Good. Monique. So anyone starting up a new channel that we haven't posted yet, let the mods know. I think pretty much everyone in the chat knows each other. So let me see what else we have on current events. There's so much weird stuff. I'm still kind of freaked by that Ukraine hack that they knocked off the Ukrainian, basically their State Department, I guess is the foreign ministry, and then put a message on the website saying, be afraid and expect the worst. Ukrainian people or something like that. And then they were sending texts to people. They shut down which is the foreign ministry's, their State Department. They tried to knock down their Defense Department, and then they took down another facility. So, and like I said earlier, New Mexico, their multiple school districts are knocked offline right now. They were hacked. So it's, oh, yeah. Yeah. You should do a channel, D. We need to have all the Texas channels come on at once. That would be a riot. Before anyone starts drinking, though, because then it would just get obnoxious. But so anyway, Ukraine got hacked. The Russians didn't do anything after. Yeah. Well, Hutch, to your point about Korea, I'm worried about the people in Kiev and Donetsk. I mean, they've been getting shelled, shot at by snipers. I mean, it's just bad. Yeah, D, you know what? Email me, Jen, Hutch, any of the creators, and we'd be happy to like give you some ideas. And then you come on as a guest for a few and kind of build a bit of a following, and then you just kind of work on it from there. That would be, although to be honest, the folks in Arkansas and Virginia are a lot of fun lately. They've been all riled up. There's been a lot of people riled up with what's going on. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the last time I was in Amsterdam on a business trip, I found a bar, because usually after the meetings, you're like, don't have anything to do, so you piss off. And so I went and I found a bar. It was the middle of the day. Big pickle in the house. It'll be fun. And honestly, if you do it from fun, the channels tend to grow better. I've seen some people try and force growth, and it doesn't seem as fun. Actually, Hutch, I heard China was getting into shoving matches with the Vietnamese Coast Guard, I guess, their naval patrol, because of the islands, the Spratly and Paracel Islands. And Vietnam, the Philippines, Japan, and South Korea all issued a complaint to the, I don't know who the hell it was in the UN or the trade people. Hey, Art. Good morning. Good morning. At work. Can't listen, but can watch chat. No problem, Lucky. I'm glad you hopped in. Judd, you did a live the other day, and I came in, and then I got a work call, and I dropped, and I came back in, and I got another work call, and that happened like 4 times, and I gave up. I'm like, they won't leave me alone. Then as soon as I left the chat and I answered that one last call, I heard nothing for 2 hours. It was like, I want to start making kind of just not much of a talker. Well, Militant, you could keep it to shorts, just do like little topics, just less talking, and just kind of go, hey, today's topic is, my coffee mug. And then you talk about the mug, 60, 90 seconds, and see you later, guys, and off you go. Yeah. Ducking is overrated. Although it does pass the time. Unless Hutch starts breeding pig dogs again and they mutate, in which case we're all going to have a problem. And I know, I'm telling you. So one of my coworkers, I've made a point not telling colleagues, coworkers, I just built the channel and ran with it. My brother, who's very big into preparedness, just realized I had a channel like 2 months ago, not even a month ago, like right before Christmas. He's like, douche, you have a prepping channel. Why didn't you tell me? I was like, I didn't know if I was going to do it that long, man. I was just screwing around, and it kind of took off. So, yeah. So now, every now and then you'll start seeing him in the future pop in on the chat. I don't know what his handle's going to be. So hopefully it's not something that gets me flagged. It wouldn't be the first time my brother got us both in trouble. So yeah, Canada is not having a good. Did they pass that tax? I know we were talking about it on Tuesday, and let's see if we have. Was a Rona tax or something like that? Let's see if I can find that. Yep. Yeah, here it is. So this one, let me see if I can share this on the screen. I don't know if I can do that without screwing everything up. So bear with me just a second. And let me see if I can share a Chrome tab. Share. So can you guys see that? Liberal, I'm assuming MP is a member of parliament, if I recall correctly. Well, only if you get Hutch, it's only if they get butt hurt about it. Most people with any kind of like intestinal fortitude should not get offended. But nowadays people get offended because your hat's the wrong color, Like if I wore a red hat that looked like one of those hats, but it wasn't one of those hats, I could have a damn smiley face. Somebody will walk up to me and say shit. Yeah. Hey, American Gypsy, how are you? Yeah. So why did she get fired? Because of the pinch? Good Lord, that's terrible. That's awful. So, yeah, Liberal MP backs anti-vax proposal as COVID cases surge. We already have taxes on tobacco. We have taxes on alcohol. Blah, blah, blah. A Liberal MP who works as a medical doctor says he's in favor of making unvaccinated Canadians pay some kind of a special tax. He believes his party agrees. Yeah, but I won't even get into this. This is just retarded. Quebec Premier Francois Legault floated the idea of imposing a substantial tax on the unvaxxed this week as the province's hospital admissions continue to soar. New federal modeling released Friday warned that the Megatron variant could lead to record levels of hospitalizations. Blah, 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 and then a little kid. I don't know what that's about. I don't think that has anything to do with, I don't think that little kid. Sooner people say no, the sooner it stops. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, fine. Northern Girl had a great video where somebody put up a thing that said you must have a pinch and a mask. And she's like, fat nerd. She's just like crumbling up the papers and she tore a bunch down. So that was awesome. You should make a t-shirt of that with you just crumbling up their paper. American Coyote, a Canadian. Well, I'll tell you what, there are farms that I've personally been to on the Canadian border that actually the farm goes across the border from like the colonial days. So it's a Canadian farm, but there's like this symbolic fence, and it's the Canadian owner has his cattle on the American side, and then he opens it and the cattle go to the other side. So and see, Arkansas, I think we have too many companies with their hands in the cookie jar right now. And that I don't like. The people making decisions in the Fed have too many hands in the cookie jars with the people making the juice. And if that's a lot of money, that's billions of dollars. Really, Arkansas? The state, not the person. Yeah, I assume you meant the state, but yeah, okay. Yeah, you're going to start seeing this stuff. Companies are going to try and protect themselves because they're going to hit them. If they can't hit them through OSHA, my next prediction is they're going to hit them through insurance liability. I'm talking from a financial business standpoint. And to protect your company, if you're like the CEO or the owner or whatever, you have a choice: shut your doors and put people out of work, or do what they say, unless you sue them. So if you have the money to sue them and you throw them in the courts and in front of the newspapers, which has happened as part of the reason a bunch of things got shot down this last week. Oh, which makes no sense. So the people who spent all of 2020 and most of 2021 helping other folks, but refused to get the juice because they got sick anyway and then came back to work, they got fired. But now they're making people who have the juice, who are sick, work while they're sick because they don't have enough people. They created their own shortage. Like this is so stupid. We're not having that big a shortage in Texas because the governor was like, no, you can get it if you want. He encouraged it. He said, get it. He got it, and he got sick and he didn't have a bad outcome when he got the illness. But he said it's your personal choice. If you don't, you get really sick, oh, well, it sucks to suck. And if you take the shot, understand there's risks, and he just kind of laid it all out, let the people decide. And now the East Coast doesn't have enough nurses. I just don't understand this. And yeah, that's unfortunate. I've seen people disagree about politics. I've never seen it get to the point where family members were wishing ill on other family members. And I've had similar happen in my family with at least one of my siblings. And it's just, what do you do? That wouldn't be a bad thing. So we ran out of all the Miller products and Budweiser, like all the beer disappeared, but you had Corona and Dos Equis. Like in Mexico, I guess COVID doesn't mess with the Corona beers because they have the same name. I don't know. But like all the American beers disappeared for a while, except the Texas local brands. Those were still there. And the wines were stocked. Like the wineries were like, we don't care, we're all outdoors, piss off. And they kept making wine. See, and I think that's honestly, they're not being very transparent about the effects. So I don't know if you guys heard, but the FDA was going to release all the findings from the beginning until now of the various meds in 95 years. 95 years. When all of us are dead by natural causes. And a judge overruled it and said, no, you have 8 months and you have to start producing X amount in a month. And by the end of the 8 months, you must produce all of this. And they completely got overruled. But the FDA was trying. Why would the FDA try to bury safety and wellness stats for 90 years? So when members of the FDA have relatives who are members of the big companies, that is the industrial congressional complex Eisenhower warned us about back in the 50s. What in God's name are you two doing? All right, y'all have to see this craziness. Oh, are you tired now? All I saw was this blur going in circles around the house. And apparently someone had buffalo zoomies. Yeah. Livestock feed, yeah. So Argentina, was it Argentina? Got hit with a bad crop earlier this year, or last year, I should say. And they supplied corn. They would export corn to Brazil. And Brazil is a big beef country. It's very much like the middle of the U.S., Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, the middle of the U.S., all the way up to Calgary, really. So that was one supply chain issue with corn and soy, which is used as feed. And then there was some issue early last year with the crops in the east here in the state, on the west here in the States, the Northwest. So there have been a lot of the feed crops have gotten hit. And that's bringing feed prices up, which is why we're seeing the beef prices go up. Hey, later, Hutch. Hey, be safe, buddy. Be careful on the roads up there, man. Oh, good grief. Don't cry for me, Argentina. I won't attempt to sing that song. So Yeah, folks, there's a lot of weird things going on that I'm not a fan of. And again, for those of you out there in the snow and the ice, and a few of you I know are in that, if you got to get on the road this weekend, plan your trip in advance. Take the 10 minutes to lay out your maps. Bring a physical map too, because if the roads clog up like they did over in the East Coast a couple of weeks ago, and you get stuck in the ice and snow, there's a good possibility the cell towers will die and you won't be able to communicate. And even if you could, nobody can come get you. Hey, good morning, Man City. Oh no. Northern Girl, was that after the juice? Yeah, you'd have to take, and again, I grew up about 40 minutes from Angry Prepper, Jason. That you'd have to take the 95, which generally sucks. And to go to, I actually have a sister in North Carolina. It's pretty country, but it's also hilly, which being from the Catskill area, you can drive in hills. You know how that works. Texans in West Texas do not know how to drive in hills in the snow, and that's why we have accidents all over the place. Oh, okay. So an oncologist I spoke to had mentioned that the methodology of the new, we have multiple medicines right now, and two are based on the older system, right? They took a virus, they put something in it, they made it weak so it wouldn't kill you, and then they give it to you, and your body says, oh, this is the enemy, and kills it. And then there are the newer ones that they're really, really pushing. He said that science was used in the past for cancer treatment, but it was a very targeted thing. It's very specific. You're going after a very specific thing, i.e., like the protein, and you're trying to target that. But with something that's fast evolving, you have to keep changing the med. And he said it just doesn't make sense. You're better off getting the older science, which your body absorbs the entire contaminant and says, okay, this is it. I'm going to kill this. And now I know what to do next time. And then just do that once a year. He's not a fan of what he's seeing, but he can't say some of what he thinks in certain venues. God, Lord. I'm sorry to hear that, Jen. That sounds like it happened very quickly after, like, she declined, like, an ambulance. You didn't even have a chance to get yourself to the hospital, kind of thing. Uh, no, you know what? Of all the people, when I've seen you get upset, it's pretty justified. Yeah, and I'd be upset too if the people I loved were supposed to be helped by something that hurt them. Um, oh, guys, y'all just be careful out there. Yeah, I agree. So this was in a matter of days. This wasn't even like, oh, I got medicine and then like 6 months later didn't feel good. It was like, yeah. Guys, do the research, learn everything you can. I've seen people with the med get sick and not do too bad. I've seen one with the med, but he didn't take care of himself and he got really sick and he had to go to the hospital. And I saw someone with no med and he got sick. I know there's some companies in the States are trying to see if a person has been diagnosed with the cootie in the last 6 months, if that is a waiver to work. Basically, it's like they just got it. That's even better than the shot. So here, and if as long as they get a valid test in a document saying this person is exempt for 8 months or whatever because they naturally received immunity and therefore, they don't need this. I don't know where that's going to go. That's kind of in the legal system now. So if I hear back about that one, that would be an interesting one. Well, guys, Peppermint, we don't eat tables. She froze like she's hiding right now. Why are you doing that? Okay, for those of you who did not see the troublemaker, behold, that is, and that's her big sister. By the way, you'd think those little legs are not fast. We've clocked corgis at 22 miles an hour. Can't believe. And at the end of the day, there are billions of dollars at stake. Somebody messaged me, was trolling me on another platform and said, oh yeah, Dr. Falsey, he went to school all those years to, watching the dog, there's a cupcake on a counter and she's on her hind stubby legs trying to see if she can reach that cupcake. And now she looked at me and ran away. Now she's on the couch trying to reach the cupcake. That is an ingenious little dog. Anyway, good Lord, what was I saying? I'm trying to make sure she doesn't destroy the house while I'm on the video. I just lost my train of thought because of that damn corgi. Anyway. Well, guys, hey, Color Drop, how are you? Oh, and Color Drop has some awesome artwork. If you have not seen that channel, please go and take a peek. I believe you have artwork. Is that correct, Color Drop? I just found the channel within the last week or so. No problem, Jen. Survived as children, then the adults getting past. Yeah, I can't explain that. Oh, the meme. So somebody was trolling me saying, well, these doctors didn't go to med school all these years just to make rednecks wear a mask. And I replied, that's not why people are doing this. I'm sure there's some who genuinely believe, hey, I'm doing the right thing. But when you have millions of dollars of stock, billions of dollars of profit going to certain companies, you don't know what promises are being made in the background. I could say whatever, they can investigate me, and they're like, well, he's not getting any payment, but my daughter's cousin may be getting, $2 billion of restricted stock. So where's the transparency there? I'd love to see a hearing going, who's tracing the money? Where's the money going to? Who's being paid? Where are the lobbyists spending those dollars? I don't know if we'll ever see that, but there it is. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's terrible. There's Color Drops. Sorry, the chat jumped on me. Oh. Actually, Color Drop, my daughter is doing wildlife. She's using water-based acrylics. I don't know if I said that right. I'm not an art guy. But she's done some beautiful artwork. I got to send her your channel because I think she'd enjoy that. She's basically sketching the animals that she has treated at the vet clinic, but in a natural setting. She tried to do people and she couldn't do it. She's like, the people look like robots. Dogs, animals, she can sketch all the time. What is with those two? Now they're having a brawl. I really want to turn the camera around, but the minute I do that, they're going to look at me because I'm moving. Hey, Color Drop, you got 1, 2, 3 new subs. There you go. That's what it's about. Okay, I'm going to go check that out, Jen. Has anyone seen a guy that trolls the city? He trolls them, but he's smart. He's not just sitting there making noise. Like he comes loaded for bear, and then he starts throwing all these data points at people, and they run them off. Yeah, so Color Drop got 4 or 5 new subs. I hope everyone got a few subs out of this little chat this morning. For years, they were saying. Okay, it's Northern Girl. It's on your community page on YouTube, correct? Not Discord or somewhere else. I'm assuming that's what you meant. Just to make sure I got it. Hold on, they got really quiet. It's like kids. They get quiet, and you're like, "What are they doing?" It's so bad. What are you doing? Dingbat. Anyway, so guys, look, you're going to have some really wicked weather in the Northeast and the Midwest right now. I think the Midwest already got hit. We had a front come through, like, no holy hell. It knocked the power out and everything. No rain. We went from 80 degrees to 32 this morning, overnight. Okay, thank you, Jen. Northern Girl, put your link against in case the folks who came late missed your link earlier, or somebody put Northern Girl's link so we can make sure folks can look at that and educate themselves a little bit. But he did a rap. Okay, now I got to see this, and it's in Dallas. I got to see that. That's funny. Well, foreign guy, American lady helped at the rig, told her that since she showed kind. It's probably because they put garbage in it. I don't drink as much soda as I used to. It just tears up my stomach. I'm just not a happy camper when I drink it. I'd rather drink the rum on ice and just have rum instead of a rum and Coke. There we go. So yeah, if you go to Northern Girl's page, go to the community tab, and then you can scroll down there, and all those BitChutes links should be in there. But folks, if you're gonna travel, I've said it before. I travel a lot. You guys know that. Plan your routes out. Check the weather. Check the roads. Remember, most states now have the cameras where you can see the live traffic. Try to find the cameras and just take a look at it. And as you're traveling, don't do what that family from Florida did. They were trying to get home and got caught in that blizzard a couple of weeks ago. If you make a rest stop and you go pee, get coffee, whatever, look at the traffic again and see what it is it's looking like ahead of you. If it starts turning ugly, get a hotel room, guys. I know it's an extra, $50, $100 a night, depending on where you are and what you're staying in. But it sure as hell beats getting caught in a blizzard in your vehicle. Because, even people who are trained to be yeah. Oh, it's addictive too. But even people who, I believe it. Well, yeah, during the holidays, I had rum and Coke and I gained 5 pounds. And then I had to go on a water purge to lose it. And I'm sure it was just the Cokes because the food really didn't change. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, that is. And Klingon and everyone's bringing up a good point. Try to take care of yourselves too. If you do get the cootie, shot or no shot, um, if you're in really good health, you're going to get through it typically. Um, unless you have some chronic or genetic condition, you'll probably be just fine. The folks who are really struggling, hey, Arc Wildman, are the ones who, um, yeah, asthmatic, overweight, you're smoking too much, heck, even if you all you do is walk the neighborhood every day, it's going to have a positive effect. Just something as simple as walking. If you can run, hey Tennessee, what's going on? All right, well, oh, that sounds good. Put a video of that, at least the sausage and everything you make after. Uh-oh. All right, Joe, well, take care of that, man. I'm sorry to hear that. So, folks, yeah, try to take care of yourselves. Your wellness. Try to eat better. I know we're all guilty. We all have our little things where M&Ms or coffee with too much sugar, or whatever goodie that is your little trouble. But if you at least take the steps, even walking every morning, start a block and then build from there. Just always push the limit just a little. Don't hurt yourself. The worst thing you can do is you're trying to get back in shape and you blow out a knee, throw a shoulder or something, because then you'll have a setback and that'll kick your butt for a month. Give me coffee or give me that. Well, actually, I heard coffee is actually not bad for you with all the what do you call the little component in the coffee? Good Lord, my brain is gone this morning. I need more coffee. I forgot what they're called. It's the little chemical compounds in the bean. Actually staves off dementia, reduces the risk of cancer, and helps alertness. Although if you drink too much, it may affect your blood pressure because now you're lit like a Christmas tree. So, but oh man, Joe, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Oh wait, what is this? Everything's jumping around. I don't know. I think he causes cancer, but that's just my opinion. Uh, okay. Have fun at the gym. Be careful driving. Well, guys, look, this wasn't a really official. We're right over a little bit over an hour. This wasn't an official live. I had a few news stories I wanted to talk. I really just wanted to exchange info with the chat, get some folks some new subs. Yeah, and again, going to that, folks. Thank you, NGH. My sister is going to run her. I stay here with my dad. Okay, good. Yeah, make the little steps. I know it's tough. Nobody wants to give up sodas or whatever goodie you like, but take the time. Take care of yourselves. I enjoy having you guys in my chat. Some of you I text and chat with offline on either cell phones or Discord or whatever other venue we have. Take care of yourselves, because when you have an incident, it doesn't just affect you, it affects the people in your circle. We lost Dangerous Freedom, Urban Grandpa Preppers surprised the crap out of me because he looked like he was doing really good. Who else? I just blanked out. There were 4 channels in the last week and a half that the creators passed away. And so, that affects the community, affects the people around you. So take care of yourselves as best you can. Also, if there is an STFH, a shift, I said that backwards, you'll be more resilient to the situation, and you'll also be able to contribute more to the people in your circle. Thank you. Urban Grandpa. Yep, that was it. Thank you. Chicken Prepper. Thank you. Okay, I blanked out. I had just found Chicken Prepper maybe a week, 2 weeks before. I was just starting to follow the channel, and then all of a sudden the channel went off, and then I heard from the rest of y'all. So yeah, I got the laptop on the kitchen counter today. Um, yeah, take some time, take care of yourselves. If you have a good doctor's like the new doctor I have out here, um, he told me, he said, you need to do these lifestyle changes. He said, I'm not a fan of certain medicines. And he said, I believe you take the natural route first. And unless you have a genetic or chronic thing I can't help you with, then we go to meds. And I came home and I told Sassy, I was like, okay, that's the doctor I like. That guy. And he was no BS. He's like, okay, drink less, don't eat garbage. And, he just like, and I was okay with that, you know? Yeah, take care of yourselves, guys. And again, if you're going to hit the road, you're going to drive, check the weather, check the roads, not just before you leave, but during your trip. When you take a pee break or fill up with gas, check the roads again, because that's what got a lot of these folks coming from Florida at the end of the holidays up the East Coast, getting back to Virginia and DC and all that. They got caught in a highway and there was nowhere to go. And needs Gerald. Yeah, no, he's definitely a good doctor. Needs Gerald period. I I I haven't heard that one, but some of these people who they get entangled beyond what their mandate is. This is your job, and then they get their fingers into other stuff, and they get some of the cookies from the jar, and then they want more cookies. But then deals have to be made to get cookies, if you catch my meaning. And I think we're seeing some of that. Yes. And actually, I don't know if Northern Girl, I think you did a video on vehicle preps. I'm trying to remember who. Holy cow. Made me look at the room. Yeah. Yeah, you have to. Hey, hey, Prepper for Life, how are you? I got you to the show. Yeah, when they're that big, those companies, they donate to everybody. The question is, it's not the public donations, right? Like, because I have to declare if I donate to Biden or Trump or Hillary, whoever the hell I donate to, they have to declare it somewhere in the IRS. People can look for that. What's in the background? Is there restricted stock? Is there stock awards? Because you may think, oh, well, it's a stock, it's funny money. You can turn some funny money into real stuff very quickly, and it won't vest. So if you have a restricted stock, for instance, say I get a restricted stock from my company, right? I have X amount. It doesn't vest right away. I don't just get like 10,000 shares, right? It takes 5 years, 10 years, depending on the company. Oh, there you go. And it takes time, but until I sell it and turn it into cash in my account, I don't have to declare it to the IRS. I may have to declare that once it vests, it becomes my stock. I have to declare the market value and I have to pay tax on it. But I don't pay anything on any of the profit until I sell it. So you could be collecting this stuff over years and, have millions of dollars of stock, but nobody know. You bought it over time and now you all of a sudden you sell it. So I'm curious who's going to sell stock at the end of this. Like who's going to have those big reports to the IRS like, oh, I just sold X amount. So keep an eye on stuff like that. Remember, I keep going back to business, but I'm a big believer if you follow the money, money and power go hand in hand. And I got a feeling someone's going to get busted a couple of years from now, big time, on having stock they shouldn't have. This is purely a hypothesis, a conjecture on my part, but oh, no worries, hon. Oh yeah, and Monique's spot on. We're not even talking about that. I'm just talking about people who do it the right way, and like they declare, "Oh, my company, I passed all my like company objectives, and so the company awarded me X, and it's in my money market account. Go see it." And the IRS checks the little box. No, they can hide funds. They can have a fund overseas buy the stock for you. So I'm delivery time. Okay, folks. Well, I guess it's delivery time. my announcing dogs. So, folks, I'm gonna call it here. We're a little over an hour. Be safe this weekend. I'll try and take some pictures of the hunting expo. And until I see you all again, Godspeed, be safe, and help each other out. And sub to some of the channels if you haven't already. Take care. God bless.